morning and welcome to Southern Sports Network. I'm Lindsay Settmeyer, here to update you on the latest in moccasin sports news. The women's volleyball team continued their winning ways this past weekend when they won all 4 of their games in the Terrace Hotel Classic. The Mocs are now 8-0 for the season. The offense was led by senior Kendall Marodi and sophomore Anna Tavo. The ladies head to Rollins next weekend in hopes to continue their undefeated season. The women's lacrosse team won the Spirit competition this past Friday at the first home game for the men's soccer team. The men battled against Alabama Huntsville Chargers and prevailed in a 2-1 win. The 2 goals were scored by sophomores Jimmy Oatman and Jordan Henderson. The Mocs record is now 1-2. Today we have with us a very special guest to talk about the upcoming year in sports. Our guest has been the athletic director at Florida Southern for 6 years. During his time at AD, FSC has had 4 national championship teams, 3 individual national champion titles, and 17 national championship appearances. He has also seen the program go to 19 NCAA-sponsored sports. Please welcome Pete Meyer. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Pete.
It's my pleasure.
So I want to get started talking about the many coaching changes we've had recently, specifically in the sports of basketball and swimming. So I know for basketball, we have Coach Mike Donnelly and also TK coming back after his senior season last year. What can you tell me about that?
Well, Mike Donnelly had a great career at Post and then at Southern Connecticut State. He fit exactly what we were looking for in a head coach, personality-wise, building programs, taking programs and making them better. It's tough to be better than what we were last year with the national title. But that was the expectation coming in. We feel that we have the top Division II program in America, and we want to continue that run. Mike brought along with him Mike Macabika from Southern Connecticut. Mike also served on the staff at Syracuse in the early days and then went to Post with Mike Donnelly. So to differentiate those two, we call one Mike and one Mac, and it works out nice. And then they wanted to have Florida Southern as part of the program, and TK was the obvious choice. And Tyler Kelly is a fantastic kid, a great student athlete in his time at Florida Southern, a leader on the court, and I think he'll be a great fit for the program in the future.
Now, do you think it'll be hard for him to differentiate himself as a coach with the guys that he literally played with just last season?
That's a great question, and that will be the toughest part of his job, to differentiate from being a player to being a coach, to step up in a leadership role in a totally different aspect than he was last year as sort of the floor general of the Mocs. So it's the toughest thing for all coaches to do that want to get into the business, and TK is going to get his first shot at it at his alma mater.
All right, that's great. Now, transitioning to swimming, another coach that's left to move on, and Mike Blum has taken over. And then we have Megan Garland stepping up as a woman as an assistant coach.
Well, it's important in that we have one head coach for both men's and women's swimming. And one of the things we had been shooting for is to have a female on the staff. We had a great run with Duncan Sherrard, and he moved up and on to the University of North Carolina as the top assistant there, looking to be a major Division I swimming coach. And we looked around, and we really didn't find anybody that fit the bill better than Mike Blum, who's an alum of Florida Southern College, who's been with the program since the success started with Coach Sherrard. So we're excited about that. And then we talked to Mike about possibly finding an assistant, a female assistant that was qualified, that could fit that bill, because that gives those female student athletes someone else to look up to and communicate with. And I think the whole dynamic of the program will run much smoother with both male and females on the staff.
I'm very excited to see how that plays out. Now, is there anything else you would like me to know or the students at Florida Southern to know as a preview for this upcoming year in sports?
Don't miss a volleyball match. Our volleyball team is very, very good. Coach Jill Stevens currently has them at 8-0. They will make a pretty good run this year. I think we have improved both our men's and women's soccer programs. We have a female assistant, Stephanie Bylander, added to the cross-country staff with Coach Ben Martucci. We have a significant number of student athletes in men's and women's cross-country. So from a fall sports standpoint, we're excited about the beginning of the year.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being on this show today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
We look forward to an exciting year filled with new coaches. I'm Lindsay Sotomayor, and this has been Southern Sports Network. See you next week.